What is up, everybody? Matt here, back again with another video for you. Although it's aged like sushi left in a hot car, I still enjoy The Simpsons, and it pretty much is a guaranteed scientific fact that seasons 1 through 10 are some of the best comedy animation that you will ever see. And it just so happens that some of the best episodes are the ones that feature cameos by the remaining Beatles, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. How did these episodes come about? How did they record them, and what was the fallout of them? That is the subject of today's video, the Beatles and The Simpsons. Now, obviously, they couldn't get John Lennon because he died before The Simpsons even went into production, and The Simpsons were lucky enough to get, one Beatle on their show. I think it shows how popular and powerful that show was, at one point, where they could get the remaining Beatles to come and be on their show. And it's so cool that they were able to get George Harrison and Linda McCartney to be part of the show before they passed away. So the first Beatle to be featured on an episode of The Simpsons was Ringo Starr on the episode Brush with Greatness from Season 2. Before they even had Ringo guaranteed to be on the show, they went ahead and wrote that Marge had a crush on Ringo and loved to paint him. And it wasn't until they really started working on the episode that they thought, you know what, let's actually try to get Ringo to come in and do the show. So what they did was they sent him a copy of the script, which apparently he read 2 lines of, and he was like, I'm going to do it, this is great, this is fantastic, I want to be a part of this. When they found out that he wanted to do it, they were like, okay, we got to expand this part a little bit more. So they gave him a little bit more to do, a couple more lines, which was very, very, very cool.
Dear Sally, in response to your letter of December the 12th, 1966, my favourite colour is blue, and my real first name is Richard. Thanks for the snapshot, you're a real cute bird. Love, Ringo.
One thing that I find kind of interesting is that the people on the show asked him, do you want to be animated how you looked like on the Beatles Saturday morning TV show, or do you want to look like how you did in Yellow Submarine? And he said, I would prefer to look like I did in Yellow Sub. He said he didn't really like how he was animated in the Saturday morning cartoon show. Outside of Ringo being yellow, I really don't see any resemblance to the Yellow Sub version, but yeah. So when they finally got Ringo to come and do the episode, they had a list of things they could and could not do when he showed up. You could not touch Ringo, you could not approach him, and you could not ask him for an autograph. So the day rolls around, everybody's super excited, but they know the rules. The car pulls up, Ringo steps out, and immediately a writer runs up with a big poster and says, Ringo, will you please sign this? Did he get it signed? I don't know. But the recording session went really well. They got him to do it, and that has become, a really kind of cool episode from the early seasons. Like I said, those early episodes, some of them are really good and some of them are really bad. This one is really good and has a lot of great stuff in it. The second Beatle to be featured on The Simpsons was George Harrison in probably one of my favorite episodes, Homer's Barbershop Quartet, where it's basically a comedic retelling of the story of the Beatles. And it's so funny because if you know nothing about the Beatles, the episode is funny. If you know anything about the Beatles, the episode is absolutely hilarious. It is so good. It hits all those major story marks of the Beatles' history. From, them landing in America to the rooftop concert at the end. It's so great and so well written. And there's a genuine, real sense of comedy that goes through the whole piece. I love when they do the auditions and you have Groundskeeper Willie singing Downtown.
When you're alone and life is getting you lonely, you can always go, ach, toon. Next!
The highlight of the episode, though, is of course the cameo by George Harrison.
Hello, Homer. I'm George Harrison.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Where did you get that brownie?
Over there, there's a big pile of them.
Oh man.
Wow, what a nice fella.
Of course, the ending when they're doing the rooftop concert.
It's been done.
So what they did with this one, probably because of the Ringo poster fiasco, was they told nobody on the staff that this was going to be happening. And so George shows up, and just a couple people know. He goes into the recording studio, and Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, said he was pretty glum and pretty, down when he showed up. He didn't have anybody with him, no security, no entourage, nothing. It was just him. And he was just kind of like, yeah, you know, hanging out, and brought up Wonderwall music. And George immediately was like, oh yeah, I want to talk about it, you know, and he perked right up and was very excited. You know, I think he kind of was like, this is just a cameo for this cartoon show, you know, who cares? But I think in that moment he kind of realized, like, wait, these guys genuinely love, you know, what I've done with music, and appreciate, you know, what we've done for music history. So I think in that moment that was really cool that they did that. The episode all around is so amazing and so funny, even outside of the Beatles stuff that they do in it. It's so great, and it's really cool because, kind of not necessarily Beatles trivia, but all of the singing in the episode is done by the Dapper Dans of Disneyland. They went down, got them, and they even consulted them on the episode, like, how do you choreograph a barbershop quartet? And on top of that, it's just an incredibly well-written episode with a lot of great funny moments. So definitely recommend that one, and I think of the three, it's probably my favorite. The final episode to feature Beatles cameos was Lisa the Vegetarian, which features, obviously, Sir Paul McCartney in the episode, as well as his wonderful wife at the time, Linda McCartney. The episode itself details Lisa kind of having a personal crisis where she decides, I'm going to become a vegetarian, right at the same time that Homer is planning a massive barbecue with the neighborhood and everything, and of course hilarity ensues because of that. Another great episode, and one that is just really quotable, like, you don't win friends with salad, you don't win friends with salad, you know, very, very cool. But the highlight of the episode is when Lisa goes to the Quickie Mart, and Apu starts talking to her about being a vegetarian. He's like, we'll come up to, you know, the garden and we'll talk. And so they go up there, and up in the garden, out of the bushes, wander...
Wow, Paul McCartney. I read about you in history class. But where's your wife, Linda?
Right here, Lisa.
It's like Paul's song, Live and Let Live.
Actually, it was Live and Let Die.
Whatever. It had a good rhythm.
They wrote this episode specifically to attract Paul McCartney, knowing what a big advocate he is for vegetarianism. And he said he would do it on the condition that Lisa remains a vegetarian for the rest of the series. And so far, they have kept their promise, and Lisa remains a vegetarian. It's so cool seeing this episode because there's a great interaction between Paul and Apu and Linda. It's just very silly and very surreal.
Lisa, before you go, would you like to hear a song?
Wow, that'd be great.
Okay, take it, Apu.
I'm Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Man. I hope I will enjoy my show.
It's a great episode because it showcases the real sweetness of the Homer Simpson character, that he really does care for his family, at least he did at that point. And it ends with him giving Lisa a veggie back ride back home, and they start playing Maybe I'm Amazed. And that was the first time as a kid I ever heard that song. And I thought, my God, that's a beautiful song. What a pretty song. And it's so cool in the episode because Paul says,
if you play Maybe I'm Amazed backwards, you'll hear a recipe for a really ripping lentil soup.
and of course at the end of the episode, you play that backwards and you hear...
Oh, by the way, I'm alive.
All of these episodes are great, whether you're a Beatles fan or not. They're just really, really good episodes. And there's a reason that these episodes often appear on the best Simpsons list whenever they're talking about, oh, well, you know, these are the best episodes. You know, those episodes are typically on there. What did you guys think of the Beatles cameos? Do you think they should have had more? Do you think they should have ever tried to get all three in one episode? Do you think that now they should try to get Paul and Ringo together for one more episode? Sound off in the comments below and let me know what you guys think. Also, do you know any trivia that I didn't mention in this particular video? Maybe you know a story of something Ringo did or Paul or George did. You know, let me know. Do you think if John Lennon was still alive that he, if asked, would have been on an episode of The Simpsons? Do you think that The Simpsons could have possibly, in some universe, brought the Beatles back together? Could it have happened? I don't know. Anyways, sound off in the comments below what you think about The Simpsons and the Beatles, or the Beatles and The Simpsons, whatever combination you find fit. And thank you guys so much for being incredible viewers commenting on the videos, sharing them, viewing them, liking them, disliking them, subscribing, whatever it may be, just giving me some general traffic. Thank you guys so much, because I never thought in a million years anybody would ever watch these videos. So it really is very, very cool to know that there's somebody out there on the other side of this camera. So peace and love, peace and love. I will see you guys next time.